All right, who's here on Anthony Villarreal? So how was your jury trial?
Uh, it's still going on. I have a sentencing on Monday.
Well, you know what Cornelius would always tell me?
What's that?
You can win, defense attorneys should win every single case that they try,
Oh, yeah?
if they can write their own facts.
Yeah, if we could, that's
Yeah, but we
correct.
can't. All right, so this is scheduled for jury trial. How long do y'all expect the trial to last?
Probably about 3 days, Judge.
All right, so y'all want to confer with Ms. Ferguson on the jury trial date?
Okay. Sure, Judge.
All right, and then just let me know what the jury trial date is. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
All right, so if you'll just have a seat, they're going to confer on a date, then you all give me that date, please. All right, do not wave to people in the audience unless you want them removed from the courtroom. This is not visitation, okay? Court is calling 2024 CR 009739 State versus Katherine Grabs. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Megan Valerie for the state. Lindsay Shaw for Ms. Grabs.
And are you Ms. Grabs?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, off the record for a moment. In this case, is there any restitution?
No, Judge.
Okay.
The store received the items back.
All right. Thank you. We're back on the record. Did you understand you're charged with theft of property, 2,500, 2 or more previous convictions as a state jail felony?
Yes, ma'am.
Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 20 days in the Bexar County Jail. Under 1244, there's a $500 fine and no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea? I'm assuming that outside the agreement, the defense is requesting that the defendant serve the 20 days request of Bexar County Jail on GPS. Is that
Yes,
correct?
Judge, and that's what we had worked out with the state. I can elaborate on that if the court so wishes.
Well, outside the agreement, it appears that both parties are asking that you obtain GPS and that you serve 40 days on the GPS monitor as opposed to being in the Bexar County Jail for 20 days. No contact with HEB stores, partial ELM, and allowed to work at your current employment. Then to the offenses charge, how do you plea?
Guilty.
Court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing States Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. All right, with regards to the sentencing.
Yes, Judge. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I will give you 2 choices. One, as previously stated, I found that there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. I find you guilty. 1, if both parties agree to do GPS as opposed to the 20 days in the Bexar County Jail, what I can tell you, the 20 days in the Bexar County Jail will be less time on GPS. And if I were to do GPS for the court, it's not going to be 40 days, it's going to be 60 days. So if you want to step back and discuss that with your attorney, if you decide to choose the option of Bexar County Jail, I will give you a short time to report, which will be next week would be your report date. So you all can step back and discuss that.
Yes, if I may inquire from the court, if we were to choose the GPS option, Judge, would the court allow my client to have it be partial so she's allowed to work?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so if you all step back
Yes,
and then let me know your decision.
You want me to reapproach?
Yes.
My client would like to choose the GPS option. I do have one other request from the court. So on top of, she works full-time at Taco Cabana. On top of that, she is twice per week. She donates plasma, same location. She goes every week. It is part of her income. She counts on that. So if the court would allow her to do that as well as her full-time job at Taco Cabana and then those 2 locations and home.
All right, so is she going to be able to afford GPS or no?
No, ma'am. That's why I would like if we could do it through work release, if the court can waive the fees that way.
All right. So you'll have to report then to the Bexar County Jail. And you can report the 24th or the 25th.
24th, sooner the better.
All right, 24th is a Monday, so you're able to report then?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we're back on the record. This is what the court will do. The court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 60 days. GPS. Waive fees. And it'll be partial GPS for employment and plasma donation. There's to be no contact with HEB. And do you still have contact with the other co-defendant that's in this case?
That's my wife.
All right, state, how do you feel about her having contact with her spouse? Because it appears that you all still together.
Yes, ma'am, for 16 years.
Okay, and what the court will note for the record, it appears that the items that were taken were products that everyone needs to survive.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so no contact with HEB. And I'm not going to order the $500 fine. And the defendant is to report to the Bexar County Jail on February 24th. No later than 11 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, ma'am. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I need to redo the sentence. The court is finding you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to the Bexar County Jail for 40 days, but the court will, I'm sorry, for 20 days, but the court will allow you to serve those 20 days on GPS for 60 days. And I just needed to put that in the record for, so that it's clear. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And one other correction. So it's 20 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you. You know, I always tell people if there's an issue, there are places where you can go for free that will help you with things. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so much.
You're welcome. And if you'll make sure that there's nothing she needs from the clerks or the deputy
Yes, ma'am.
for when she turns herself
ma'am.
in. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 9161 State of Texas versus Jennifer Flores. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Megan Galloway for the state.
Defense?
Alfonso Otero on behalf of the defendant, Judge.
And are you Miss Flores?
Yes.
All right, you're gonna need to keep your voice up so that the court reporter can hear and so that I can hear. All right, did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney?
Yes.
And did you also review the First Amendment motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision with your attorney?
Yes.
Are you the same Jennifer Ann Flores who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 9161 for the offense of possession of controlled substance penalty group 1 4 to 200 grams on January 26, 2023 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes.
All right, state.
Judge will be proceeding on the first amended violation of condition number 4 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Jennifer Ann Flores did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of December 2024 in violation of condition.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
And state, do you waive the other allegations?
Yes.
Any objections to the state's waivers? Oh, I cannot hear you.
No, Judge.
All right. Ms. Flores, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yeah.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor, it's for the court to deny the state's motion to continue the defendant to ultimately for conditions for status along with after.
Yes, sir.
What is your recommendation?
Judge, status and remaining custody until treatment bed is available, Judge, and then aftercare.
However, the new cases will need to be resolved.
All right, are the new cases going to be resolved?
They are.
All right. Ms. Flores, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes,
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jennifer Flores.
All right, Ms. Flores, you did not report. Why didn't you report?
I didn't report because, they had arrested me. So I figured since I violated probation for getting arrested, I was gonna go to court on January 22nd, but I ended up getting arrested on January 22nd. So that's the only reason why I didn't report. I figured I had already MTR'd, so, I was gonna go to court and then I knew I was gonna get arrested at court.
All right, so I'm going to give you options, right?
Okay.
I cannot give a lot of people options. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. If you want, what I can do is I will revoke you and I will sentence you to 4 years, or either I will continue you and follow the recommendation for you to be in inpatient treatment. What is the wait time? So your wait time to be placed for treatment is 2 to 6 weeks. So which do you prefer?
I can do the 3 years TDC.
No, 4 years TDC, or these are your two choices, 4 years TDC, or I will follow everyone's agreement and recommendation for probation that you go into inpatient treatment. The wait time for inpatient treatment is 4 to 6 weeks. Now, this is what I can tell you. Regardless of what happens, whether you're waiting 4 to 6 weeks to go into treatment, or whether I sentence you to 4 years prison, time is going to pass. It just depends on what you want to do with that passage of time. Do you want your passage of time where you're just going to prison? Or do you want your passage of time to mean something more? You're getting clean and sober. And here's the thing, you know yourself better than I know you, better than your attorney knows you, or better than the state or probation. This is a choice you have to make for yourself. So whatever you want to do, I'm not going to look at you any differently. You know what I'm going to end up telling you? If you choose to go to prison, you know what I'm going to tell you? When you're released, if you can't find a place to help you maintain your sobriety, you come back here, I'll find a place for you. If you decide to take treatment, guess what I'm going to tell you? If anything happens, let probation know. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can still come back here. So those are your two choices. There are no other choices on the table. There's no 3 years on the table. Okay. All right, the court is finding violation of condition number 4 true. The court will deny the motion. Alternate amend conditions. And these are to happen in custody. So there's to be a referral to felony drug court. And also, she's already been approved for SATF. All right, so in custody, there's a referral to felony drug court. If she is not accepted in the felony drug court, there's to be SATF, and there's also to be a TAP evaluation in custody. And let me see one other thing. And is there a need to extend her or no?
No, Judge.
All right, so off the record, this is what you're going to be waiting for. You're going to be in custody. Somebody from probation is going to come visit you. They're going to give you a TAP evaluation. TAP evaluation is to figure out what your drug history is. Be honest,
Yes.
because you want to successfully complete this.
Yes.
Then the other evaluation you're going to wait for is felony drug court. Felony drug court is a great program. It's an intensive program, but they'll be able to help you.
Okay.
If you're not eligible or they deem you not suitable for their program, then it's going to be SATF. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
Any questions about anything?
No, thank you. I do have a question. I'm sorry. I just lost my brother on January 29th when I was incarcerated. I just want to know, is there any way that they could help me at least attend the services?
You'll have to speak with probation concerning that.
Okay.
And you know what? Let felony drug court know that. All right. When is his services?
Oh, well, right now, they still have the body because he was murdered. So, his body's still being held so under investigation, I'm guessing, that's what my mom told me. But, so that's all I know right now, that his body's being held, so they haven't pursued yet with, dates.
Well, I will tell you what, if you will let probation know when it comes up, I'll see what I can do.
Thank
And
you.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Kevin Jones? Yes,
This is an off docket matter.
okay.
Mr. Jones has come to the court with some concerns. He's on GPS monitor
Mhm.
and he would like to see about getting his monitor times adjusted.
All right, so what times are you requesting?
Well, for right now, I have a newborn child.
Okay, congratulations.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's make sure we are giving them the best example that we can. All right,
So I was supposed to be at the hospital at, I didn't think I was gonna be here this long, but at 2:30,
Mhm.
I have to, the baby is ready to be discharged.
okay,
And I have to be there. They don't want me to come in and out from the baby feeding this day, that day. They want to do it all in several hours.
all right. Any objections to him with the baby at the hospital?
No, Judge, I think there's just other stuff that might be, needs to be addressed, and I'll let him explain it.
Okay, so there's no objections to you being at the hospital. Are they still waiting to release the baby? Or have they already left?
No, I need that to do the baby feeding and the CPR class.
Oh, you got to do the CPR classes.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, back in the day, they didn't give you what is it? CPR classes. They just said, good luck to you and your baby. Yeah, all right.
And I'm a full-time student at a South Texas Vocational Technical Institute.
Okay,
I go to school from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
8 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's
And-
school.
I'm currently looking for a job
All right, so 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. school. What days?
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, okay? And then you have the baby hospital. So there's gonna be no issues with you at the hospital, okay? And there's no issues with school. I think everybody wants you to better yourself. All right, so what's the other issue?
So maybe besides setting up appointments for the baby. Looking for a job, because nothing else really.
All right, so State, let me ask you. Is this something maybe tracking with curfew?
Well, Judge, I think, I don't know if it's been said, but my understanding is that the mother of the child is not present,
Mhm.
and that's a concern, because I don't know who's taking care of the child when she's not around and he's not around.
Okay,
So that's just a concern of the state. I think that since it's a really problem.
all right, who's taking care of the baby when you're not around?
Um,
I'm sorry? Oh, isn't it always grandmothers being parents? All right. So he's saying his mom. Any other concerns?
Not necessarily, Judge. I, just to let the court know, I did email the school where he's taking, I believe, combination welding classes that
Mhm.
confirmed that he was attending from Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
That's what the coordinator said. And the only concerns are just to make sure that the newborn child is taken care of. That's the other concern of the state.
All right, let me ask you this with regards to the newborn. So when you're not around and the mother is not around, you say that your mom is the person who takes care of the child? All right,
So
wait a minute, you're just about to say something important and the machine is printing. Okay, yes.
daycare services,
Okay.
if it's needed.
All right, please check into daycare services. Just don't take your baby to anybody's daycare. You know, people need to start investigating daycares when you're taking your child there. I always would tell clients that I would have, would you just go to a strange house, not knowing anybody, and you just are in there, or would you want to investigate what's going on? So make sure that you investigate the daycare, because Your baby is not at the age, I believe, where they can talk and tell you what's going on, right? So investigate, just don't drop your child off someplace, okay?
Yes,
All righty, so. So is there an issue with tracking, or do y'all want to, what I can do is I can try out this schedule allowing him to go to work, go to school full-time, be with his child and see how that goes. And then maybe move towards tracking only.
Judge, yeah, I mean, the state's be okay with it. It seems like he at least is trying to excel and going to school and being a responsible father. The concern was is that the mother wasn't, I guess, present or not able to be present because of the possibility of incarceration. And so that was this concern of the state, and this was brought to my attention from probation.
All right, so let me ask you this. Have you had a chance to talk to his mom?
she said she apologized, she's not here, she's looking for parking. She didn't tell me.
Oh, she's driving around?
She's trying to find parking.
Oh, let me ask you, can she zoom in? Does she know how to zoom? Not a driving. Yeah. Ah,
Judge, and I did tell the state that, in regards to his concerns, there are, field visits that are already, a part of his condition terms
mhm.
to where, our officers will be doing home visits.
Okay, and then what I can say, and as a part of the conditions that I added was that he's to reside with his mom. So you're residing with your mom?
Yes.
So. All right, then, do you want to do tracking only and then we can do an update?
That'd be fine.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do tracking only. What that means is, really, don't go wild, right? Just do your school, taking care of your child, looking for employment. Don't get sidetracked because it's easy to get off that path, okay?
Even before I got it put on Friday, I've been at home and just going to school. I ain't been trying to get no trouble. No.
All right, well, I'm so proud that you're actually bettering yourself. Welding is a good profession. Don't burn yourself too much.
As far as
Well, you know what they say you're not a welder until you're burned. And then I knew an attorney who decided he was going to be a carpenter. He's a carpenter, but he lost a digit. And he said, people say you're not a carpenter until you've lost a digit. As people say, you're not an attorney till you've had a grievance filed against you. There's so many professions like that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do tracking only. And does he have community service hours?
I do.
All right, so Bashan,
Yes, Judge.
he has the community service hours, but I did put down he completes parenting classes and his community service hours will be deemed satisfied. So do the CPR classes, do parenting classes, and then you won't have to do the community service hours.
Yes.
All right, so they'll be tracking only, and then we will recall this for. You all want to recall this in 30 days or 60 days to see how things are going?
Either.
Norma, we're going to recall this. It's 2023 CR 5280. We'll recall this. What's a good time for you to come down? What day of the week? Okay, so any day in the afternoon, we could set it at 2. Get out one. You want to do 2:30?
Yes.
All right, and then I understand if you're driving from school. So we can set at April 7th, 8th, or 10th. So that's Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday. All right, you want,
I ain't got no sick day.
all right, so we'll do Tuesday then. No, usually that's our jury trial date. We'll do it Monday, the 7th, okay? And I'll put you down April 7th at 2 p.m. I'm saying 2 p.m., but I'll write on the docket sheet 2-ish because sometimes traffic is some kind of way. Well, congratulations. I'm glad you're doing well. Keep it up, okay? All right, thank you.
We're gonna do a reset.
Yes. Norma, can you give him a reset form and put two-ish on there, please? And Kevin, Mr. Jones, make sure you call the hospital to tell them that you're on your way. Okay. All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 4709, State versus Edgar Aguilar. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Megan Galloway for the state.
Defense?
Megan Enriquez and John Coons for Edgar Aguilar.
And are you Edgar Aguilar? So we're here for sentencing today. The jury rendered their verdict. And in count one, the jury found you not guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. They did find you guilty of the lesser included offense of assault. In count two, you were found guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And in count three, you were found guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. We are here today for sentencing. State, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, Judge.
All right, do you all need to sit down for this or no?
No.
All right. All right, Lopez, please. All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Victor Lopez.
All right, state.
Mr. Lopez, are you a resident of Bear County?
Yes, I am.
How long have you lived in Bear County?
About 34 years.
Okay, and are you currently employed?
Yes,
What type of line of work do you do?
I do HVAC and maintenance.
And I know you know that you're here regarding an incident that occurred on March 16th, 2023, correct?
Yes.
Okay, do you recall what you were doing that day?
We're coming from the main office that I used to work for, going to another apartment to go work already.
Okay, and when you say we, who are you referring to?
Yeah, my friend Augustine, he was my coworker and we became friends.
And what kind of car were you driving?
We're driving a black Explorer.
Okay, and do you recall what highway you were traveling on?
We're going 410.
And what direction were you going? Like towards the airport or the opposite?
Towards the airport. We're going towards the airport.
Okay. You were driving, you observed a vehicle acting out of the ordinary.
Yes, I was on the far right lane and on the access road to come into the highway. I noticed it. The reason I noticed is because Augustine says, he told me, what's wrong with this truck? I looked and this truck was trying to hit us, trying to get me off the road.
Do you recall what the truck looked like?
Yes, it was a Dodge Ram, beige.
Okay. And when this was occurring, were you able to observe the driver?
Yes, he looked at me, we looked at each other and he was throwing up his hands and like cussing me out. And I was like, I don't even know the guy, but he was like, at the same time, he was swerving his truck towards me and I kept on trying to miss. Every time he would swerve towards me, I would try to, not let him hit me. So,
Okay, and did he hit you?
yeah, eventually he pushed me all the way to the far left lane. It was the right lane, so it was the third lane. And when he pushed me to the third lane, he actually clipped me. He really hit me, and then that's when I slowed down, and I was surprised, like, man, what's going on? So when I slowed down, he actually slowed down in front of us, and he slammed his brakes. I slammed my brakes, and then he started reversing towards us like really fast. So I recall in the middle of the highway, traffic going the opposite way, and we're going reverse, and he's chasing me, and I'm in a Ford Explorer. And of course, the Dodge Ram is faster, so he caught up to us. He hit me. When he hit me, he got me caught with another car behind me, and he had me there, trapped.
Did you get to see who was driving the car behind you?
Yes, it was a family. It was a guy with his wife and his 3 kids. They were behind me, and he had us there. So yeah.
Just a moment. Excuse me, officer. Yes. Check shirt. No, not you, the person in front of you. Yeah, come around this way. All right, I'm sorry about that. You may continue.
And so were you able to observe who was driving with the car behind you?
Yes, it was a gentleman with his family, with his wife and his 3 kids.
Okay, and when the gold truck reversed into you, could you hear or see anything? in the
Yeah.
vehicle?
He had his pen there for, it felt like forever, but I can hear the tires and see the smoke from his tires. Just, he had his trap there and he kept on going and going and going. So I really felt like, man, he's trying to kill us, so.
And at this point, did something occur with your seatbelt?
Yeah, my seatbelt got stuck. I couldn't get out. We had a weapon. It was a gun. We showed the cops and everything. It wasn't loaded. We were trying to scare him off, but I couldn't get off because my seatbelt got stuck. So I told my coworker, "Hey, get off." Tried to scare him off. And my coworker got off, went to his side and pointed the weapon at him. Told him, "Hey man, you need to stop." He got off. He says, "Shoot me, shoot me." So he grabs a vacuum pump. The vacuum pump is it's a tool that you use for HVAC. It's about 45 to 55 pounds. He grabbed it and he threw it on my windshield. My windshield busted. So when he threw it on my windshield, I recall running from it because I don't want him to hit me with it because it's pretty heavy. He ran and picked it up and threw it on my coworker, and it landed on my coworker's legs.
And what effect, if any, has this incident had on you?
Oh, my life's changed. I mean, every time I drive or my mother's driving or my wife is driving, any car gets close to us, I just sense to like jump and, like even my wife gets upset, like, man, I'm driving right. Like, well, it's just in me that I jump. Like, it's just, I guess she goes, you got PTSD off of that now. So, I mean, that's something that's changed when I'm on the highway. I'm driving like an old man now, and then people honk the horn at me. I just leave them alone now. Like,
So I'm gonna show you what's been marked as States Exhibits P1 through P3 inclusive. Have you reviewed these photos before?
yes.
Okay, and are they a fair and accurate depiction of how things look on the date of the offense?
Correct.
And States Exhibit P1, can you describe what is depicted in?
That's me and Augustine and the truck that we're driving.
Okay. And in States Exhibit P2?
It's the windshield where you can see on the windshield on the left bottom side where he threw the vacuum pump at us.
Okay. And States Exhibit P3?
P3, you can tell, like, even when he was throwing, like trying to hit me, you can see the car in front of us. It's another car that actually clipped me, trying not to hit us while he was, we were going through that.
I'm tendering to defense for inspection, but state offers States Exhibits P1 through P3.
No objection, Judge.
All right, States Exhibits P1, P2, and P3 are admitted without objection. All right, any questions?
Very briefly, when your coworker Agustin pulled the weapon on Mr. Aguilar, he said he was saying, "Shoot me" to him.
Mr. Aguilar was saying, "Shoot me," yes.
Did it appear that he was trying to die by suicide?
Objection.
No, it didn't appear to me because I don't think he was trying to kill himself. I think he was trying to kill other people. That's the way I felt.
But he didn't have, did he have a gun or a knife or anything like that on him? Did you ever see Mr. Aguilar?
He was reaching for, I feel like he was reaching for things to hurt us with, because he tried to hurt us with his vehicle. After that, he got off. When he got off, he went into his truck grabbing stuff. So my coworker had to get on top of his truck and try to stop him from getting stuff from his truck.
And when the gun was pointed at him, he said, "Shoot me."
Yes, he did.
Nothing further.
All right, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
State.
You have to.
All right, defense, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor, just our client.
All right, Mr. Aguilar? Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Edgar Aguilar Hernandez.
Edgar Aguilar Hernandez.
All right, defense.
Mr. Aguilar, were you in your right mind on March 16th of 2023?
No.
No,
Do you recall any of the events that happened on March 16th of 2023?
No.
no,
Do you have any memory of all of these accusations and evidence that has been brought against you?
Es muy poquito lo que recuerdo. Son partes muy cortas.
it's very little that I remember. They're like short bits and pieces.
Are you embarrassed and horrified to hear all of these things that you were doing on March 16th of 2023?
Claro,
Of
claro que
course,
sí.
of course I am.
How does it make you feel to hear all of these things and to see the video and review all of this evidence?
Fatal, muy mal.
Terrible, very, very bad.
During the 2 weeks leading up to March 16th, 2023, were you under the heavy influence of methamphetamine?
Como ya les había explicado desde el principio,
As I had explained from the beginning,
yo estaba pasando por una crisis de mi vida muy fuerte.
I was going through a very strong, bad crisis in my life.
Yo me quería quitar la vida.
I wanted to kill myself.
No quería hacerle daño a nadie, quería hacerme a mí mismo.
I
No a
didn't
nadie.
want to hurt anybody. I wanted to hurt myself, but not anybody,
No a alguien más.
not
que
anyone else.
hacer esto. Esto ocurrió sin que yo supiera.
This happened without my knowing.
So you do know that you were ingesting these drugs purposely, right?
Sí, la estaba yo ingiriendo
Yes, I was
a
ingesting them,
propósito para quitarme la vida.
purposefully to kill myself, to take my own life.
And what happened as a result of what happened to your mind because of all of these drugs is what led to all of these cases, right?
Exactly.
And you've been in custody for nearly 2 years now, since March 16th of 2023, right?
Sí,
Yes,
And you've obviously been sober and you've had time to reflect on all the, everything that happened on that day and leading up to that day, right?
sí,
yes,
And you've essentially lost your family, right? Your wife and your children.
todo hasta mi libertad.
everything, even my freedom.
And it's been an agonizing almost 2 years, just knowing everything that happened and pain you have caused to other people, your family, and to strangers, right?
Exactamente.
Exactly.
And you're not a US citizen, is that correct?
No, tendría nomás un permiso y el proceso de estar aquí
No,
con permiso y seguro ser para trabajar.
no, I only had a permit and I was in the process. I had a permit to work.
You were a resident and you had a work permit, is that correct?
Sí,
And you were in
Yes.
the process of working with an immigration attorney to become a US citizen.
residente.
Resident.
And you know that because of these 2 convictions, that may not happen, and it's very likely that you could be deported to Mexico, is that correct?
Correcto.
Correct.
And you are asking for mercy from this court to give you the minimum, which would be 2 years with credit for the time you've served, so that you can try your best to pick up the pieces and move on with your life, whether that be in Mexico or somewhere else, right?
Se lo pediría con el corazón
I would ask you from the bottom of my heart
que si se pudiera hacer eso,
if you could do that.
pero sé que también se mira mal por los hechos.
But I also know that it looks bad based on the facts.
O sea, cuando lo hace uno intencional, yo creo que sí se merece tiempo.
When you do it
Because-
intentionally, I do think you deserve the time.
Y si llegué a un juicio, no fue porque sea cínico, sinvergüenza,
And if I went to trial, it's not because I'm cynical or shameless,
sino porque yo no estaba consciente, no recordaba todo lo que pasó.
but because I wasn't aware, I didn't remember everything that happened.
Porque también tengo familia y no quisiera que pasara, que le hicieran intencional a mi familia.
Because I also have a family and I wouldn't want someone to do intentionally to my family.
Fue por eso que llevé esto a trial, no por,
That's why I took this to trial,
no porque sea así.
not because I'm cynical.
No further questions.
State, any questions?
Mr. Aguilar, you've been arrested for possession of a controlled substance in Austin, Texas, is that correct?
Por una cerveza.
Ah.
Sí, sí, una botella de cerveza.
Yes, over a beer, yes, a bottle of beer.
And do you recall when you were in custody in the Bexar County Jail, you met, with a doctor to evaluate your mental state?
¿En San Antonio?
In San Antonio?
Yes,
Sí.
Yes,
okay. And do you recall reporting to that doctor that you had been, doing methamphetamine for at least a year prior to being arrested?
Sí.
yes,
Okay. And so when you were arrested, that wasn't the first time that you had injected methamphetamine, correct?
No, ya tenía más o menos 15 días que era todo de día y noche.
no, it had been like 15 days that I would do it day and night.
Okay. And during this time, you weren't sleeping or doing anything productive?
No,
Honestly, nothing. No dormía más que una hora.
I didn't sleep, but maybe an hour.
And I guess the female victims that testified in the trial, do you recall them when they came in here to testify?
Sí.
Yes,
And you said you didn't know them, right?
No, a
Okay.
nadie
no,
conocía.
I didn't know anybody.
Do you, your home address was that on Rosa Trail?
Sí.
Yes,
Okay, and so you lived on Same Street as those victims, correct?
Si viven en esa calle, sí.
if they live on that street, yes,
Okay, and so you followed them from that street to where the incident occurred on 410, right?
when you're asking me if I followed them, I don't remember those parts where you're,
Okay. And are you aware that the doctor's conclusion was that you were not suffering from any severe mental disorder defect at the time that you engaged in this conduct?
yes, I suffer from migraines.
No. We have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right.
I just
Any
wanted to
follow-up?
clarify one thing briefly. You had been using methamphetamine for a whole year prior to March 16th of 2023, correct?
Not a year, like it's 6 months before what happened.
Quite some time before the March 16th of 2023, right?
Yes,
But you were using it in what you thought were lethal dosages in life about 2 weeks prior to the incident.
exactly.
And are you extremely sorry for what happened to that woman and her daughters?
I will say it
Triste
again,
por todo lo que pasó.
I feel horrible. I'm very sad about everything that happened.
And just to be clear, you don't remember them being your neighbors, correct?
No.
Or you're
No.
just saying you did live on Rosa Trail, and if they did live on Rosa Trail, then y'all were possibly on the same street.
Sí.
But you have no
Yes, yes.
recollection of these people from,
No.
No,
is there any,
no.
Is there anything else that you want Judge Boyd to know that she hasn't already heard in the trial or here today that you would like her to consider before she makes her decision?
The only thing would be that the conviction, the sentence isn't as if I had done it in with my 5 sentences. Like the attorney mentioned, if you could reduce the sentence.
All right. Any other questions, defense?
Nothing further, Judge.
State, any further questions? All right, any other witnesses, defense?
No, none from the defense.
State, any rebuttal witnesses? All right, the court will hear argument and state.
Judge, we're asking for 10 years and TCJ. I will agree with what the defendant and his counsel have represented. His conduct on that day was embarrassing and horrifying. And the 3 victims, Raquel, Fatima, and Brittany, also found it horrifying. And then the punishment witness that we brought in today, Victor, also found it horrifying. So much to the fact that Brittany, Raquel, and Fatima, I mean, Your Honor, I would ask you to take judicial notice of the evidence that was presented in the trial. But the court was able to observe their demeanor when they came in here, and they're still very much in fear over what happened on that day. And Mr. Lopez, who testified today, testified that he believed that the defendant was trying to kill him on that day. And so that's why we don't.
All right. And then with regards to the lesser included offense.
I'll defer to it.
All right. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor, just brief argument. You sat through the whole entire trial. I think it's undisputed that he was under the influence of methamphetamine combined with alcohol. He was attempting to take his own life. He's horrified to learn. He has very little memory of what occurred on that day, and he's been horrified for the past 2 years to learn more and more details of what happened that day, to see himself on video, to hear from these witnesses and hear their experience. We are not condoning his behavior. He's not excusing his behavior. However, I would like the court to also just consider and take note that he's not a United States citizen. He's had an ICE hold at the jail throughout the time he's been in custody since March 16th of 2023. Because of these convictions, they are second-degree felonies, aggravated offenses. We believe that it's like the likely outcome is that he will be deported in light of these convictions. So based on that, he has almost 2 years in custody. March 16th, 2020 of this year will be 2 years. We ask that the court sentence him to the minimum and then come what may on the immigration front, and that way he could try to rebuild his life in Mexico and try to find family. He does have an ex-wife and 3 minor children here that when prior to this incident, he did help financially support. His wife, or excuse me, ex-wife wasn't able to be here due to obligations with the children, but we are in contact with her. She did represent to us that he did financially provide for her and the children leading up to this event. So with that, and with all the evidence you've heard, especially his mental state at the time, we ask that you sentence him to 2 years TDC.
All right, and with regards to the lesser included offense?
We'll also defer to the court.
Everybody is deferring to the court on, I want to know what you all are asking for.
Yeah,
Yes.
the class C, so.
So it's, as a class C, I believe the range of punishment for that is $0 to a $500 fine. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, so I think, not that I'm saying that it's not important. There is no imprisonment associated with that. So whether I give a $0 fine or not, and these fines that are collected, no one knows where they go. So with regards to count 1, the lesser included offense of assault, I'm going to do a $0 fine on that one. Now, with regards to counts 2 and counts 3, Mr. Aguilar, I understand that sometimes we do things, maybe we're under the influence of drugs. It is no doubt in my mind that you were under the influence of some type of substance based upon the testimony that the court heard. And based upon the officer saying there was dos equis in the vehicle that had been consumed and some that were not consumed, and also based upon the finding of meth. I understand that sometimes if we were not under the influence of certain things, that we would behave differently. But as you know, and as your attorneys know, voluntarily consuming drugs or alcohol is not a defense to anything. It may be used as mitigation to say, this is why I behaved in a certain way. So I understand that. So no one has addressed this issue for the court. Other than this case, does he have any criminal history? I know there was a mention of him having alcohol or some type of drug substance in Austin. Is there anything else?
Judge, as far as convictions go, he did have state jail trip on a possession less than a gram. That's all that I'm aware of.
All right. Anything else from either side before I pronounce sentence? All right, so this is what I'm going to do. Counts 1, 2, and 3 are to run concurrently. Count 1, there's a $0 fine. And the reason why I'm giving a $0 fine as opposed to a $500 fine is, first off, no one knows where those fine monies go. Legally, and what I've read, I know where it's supposed to go. But when people are looking for those fees that have been deposited, no one can find them. So that's why I'm giving you a $0 fine on that. Counts 2 and counts 3. In each of those cases, the court will sentence you to 8 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon in each of those counts. And the court will give you credit for any time served. All right, so I'm going to do restitution, if any, to the complainant, and nobody presented any restitution for the gentleman who testified for his vehicle. So there will be a restitution, if any, to Raquel Ildefonso Ortega. And also, I'm going to request for you the therapeutic community. I have no jurisdiction for your placement in the program, but if you let them know that you would like to be a part of the program, they'll see that I requested it as well. And perhaps they can help you with your sobriety and also any mental health issues. Is there anything else from either side?
Not from the state.
Nothing, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck, Mr. Aguilar.